This is exactly how I lost 55 pounds of fat and built my dream physique in about only 6 months. So right here is a on the left is a picture of me in January of 2024, and after consistent training, great dieting, great food, nutrition, within 6 months, I was able to lose this body fat and also build this amazing physique, which I've gotten a lot of compliments on, and people have always said, "God damn, your fucking transformation was crazy." Like, people have noticed this. I've gotten so many compliments. And just so you further know exactly that I know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you a transformation of the first time I ever went to the gym. So this would be the first time I thought about going to the gym, first time I picked up self-improvement. I trained for about, I think, 6 to 9 months. I don't remember the exact range, but I made really shit progress. And this was the before on the left. I still had that belly, really weak. And this was after. I literally just ended up getting skinny, and I did not look one bit attractive at all in any of these photos. So this was a really fucking big waste of my time. But how is it possible that this was a terrible transformation and this was such a great transformation? Well, going into this transformation and going through this one, after this one, I completely learned everything I knew about fitness. So I've been like, I've tested, trust me when I say this, I've tested so many diets, so many training routines that I genuinely believe this is like the one that I discovered that anyone can hop on. And this was like the most progression I've ever made in such a short amount of time. It's because I've learned all the bullshit there was and I finally put it into action. And this was the result. And just to show further pictures, this is kind of what my back looks like and what the front of me looks like flexing. But we're going to be covering diet here. So the big question was always how should I diet? How should I eat? Should I even go on a diet? There's so many different types of diets out there. You're going to get confused as fuck if you have no idea what you're talking about. So should I do paleo diet? Should I do carnivore? Should I vegetarian? Should I do intuitive eating? Should I count calories, smoothies and greens? This is what the parents love, is their juicers and smoothies, whatever. Should you starve yourself? Well, the answer is actually basically none of them. And I've tried paleo, I've tried pretty carnivore, and the one thing that will make you lose weight, it's not exactly counting calories, but it has something to do with calories. So this right here is quite important. But I'm going to show you exactly what I did and what I mean by it's kind of like counting calories. So I'm going to explain to you what I mean by it's kind of similar to counting calories. So I'm going to actually draw this out for you right here. So let's just say you have a certain amount of calories that you're supposed to eat within a day. So we'll call this your maintenance. All right? Maintenance. All right. So this right here is your maintenance. And this could be whatever you want. Not whatever you want, sorry, but this is going to be whatever you calculate. This is based off like your weight, your age, your height. You can just search up calorie calculator online. Put in your weight, height, whatever it asks you to do, and you'll get your maintenance. And from your maintenance, you must actually eat at this maintenance and you will stay the same weight. But if you eat just a little bit underneath it, right, you see this little gap here? If you eat a little bit underneath it, which is like about minus 200 to minus 500 calories, you will lose weight. So this will be your deficit. And this works the exact same as if if you're to eat more. This right here is your surplus. Now, we do not want a surplus. What we want is to actually, it's also not stay into your deficit. What you want to do is, you want to be in this range right here. You want to be in your maintenance calories and your deficit calories. Because when you are in periods of deficit for too long, and this is what I found out that was affected my journey a lot, was being in a deficit for really long, I start to get these cravings and I start to just end up wanting to eat a lot of food. And I have a naturally really big appetite, as you could tell from my picture in January. My appetite's fucking huge. So if I end up being in this deficit for way too long, I'm just gonna end up going to this surplus like the next day. But instead of like this small surplus, I might just fucking, the surplus might be huge, and that's because I just feel way too hungry. So what I would recommend is that 80% of the time you want to stay into your deficit, and about 20% of the time you want to stay into your maintenance. So it's all right if one day you eat a little bit more than usual, because this will actually help you out, like regulate your metabolism. So your metabolism isn't going to be so all over the place, or you're not going to feel like in a constant state of a deficit, and you will make a lot of progress. Because let's just say during the week, 6 days of the week, we're in a caloric deficit, so you were eating really clean, you had no unnecessary food, but then maybe on Saturday you want to go out, you want to eat a dinner, then it's all right. Go ahead, go eat your dinner, go eat some steak. If you're feeling extra hungry, fuck it, go eat 3 pieces of toast if you want. Go eat some giant steak, a burger. But as long as it's 80% of the time you are within your deficit. So this is, I'm going to show you right here exactly what I did. This is my routine. You don't have to copy it step by step, but I just want you to understand the principle of what I did. What I did was every morning I would gym at 6 in the morning, 6 a.m. gym. But before then, I had a small snack, and this was usually a banana. It was basically always a banana and honey. Maybe it'll be a piece of toast some days, but it was basically always a banana and some honey. And this was just a small snack to give me some energy for the gym. And after I would finish training at the gym, you can see that there's a long gap right here. This gap was my fasting window. So my fasting window over here essentially was no eating. This was you go to school. I went to school. I was in college. I had like 9 a.m. classes and everything. So this is like, how many hours is that? Basically 6 hours without eating. And finally at 12 p.m. I was able to eat my first meal. Now this meal, when I tell you, is a really big meal because I'm hungry. But as a person with a naturally big appetite, what do I like to do? So I like to eat a big ass meal. So this thing right here would allow me to eat 2 really big meals during the day, and I would still be within my caloric deficit. So during this time, from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m., I would have 2 meals. 7 p.m. would be my last meal. 12 p.m., eat a really big meal plus a protein shake, maybe like 90, 100 grams of protein in one meal. By the way, if you ever heard that 30 grams of protein for one meal is the max you should do because you can't absorb the rest, it's all bullshit. Don't listen to that. You can literally eat 100 grams of protein, your body will be just fine. So don't have any concern about like if you think that you can't absorb that much. Your body was designed to absorb a lot of protein. I mean, when you were a caveman, not when you were a caveman, but when our ancestors were caveman, and they didn't eat for weeks, and then they finally hunted down a boar or like elephant or whatever, a lion animal. They roasted the animal, and then they feasted. They ate as much as they possibly could after they didn't eat for an entire week. So it's kind of a similar principle where, I mean, did they like, did our ancestors think, okay, I'm only gonna have 200 grams of beef because I'm only gonna be able to absorb this much, and then I have to save it for like, no, no fucking nobody did that shit. So you can absorb 100 grams of protein easily, just like I was able to do. Same, again, last meal. And then sometimes I might end up getting really hungry, so I did allow myself to eat a high protein snack. This would be like meat sticks, cheese, a protein shake, some kind of maybe a small piece of steak. So this would just be a high protein snack to keep me through the rest of the fasting window. And then I would sleep at 9 p.m. But the whole purpose of this is that as a person with a really big appetite, you love to eat a big meal. Like, I personally just love to eat a giant meal. Something about me just, I can't really eat like only 2 eggs in one sitting. I think that's just a little snack. So I like eating 6 eggs. I like eating a big steak and a bunch of potatoes. Like, that's my style, is I really like to eat a lot. So I decided, if I'm going to be eating a lot, I can't do that 3 times a day. Then I'm just going to be in a calorie surplus all the time, and then I'm never going to lose weight, never going to lose fat. So the point is you literally here, you only have a 7-hour window where you could eat basically as much as you can. And as long as you prioritize high protein in these meals, it's actually not hard to stay within a deficit. So my calorie maintenance is 3,000 calories, and each meal would have to be 1,500 calories maximum to stay in that deficit. And usually my meal would be around 1,000 calories. So if I were to have 1,000 calorie meal here, maybe another 1,300 calorie meal here, so I'm at around 2,000, maybe 2,500 calories, and the rest would be like a high protein snack. And then I also worked out in the morning, did all my training, did all my cardio. So then it would be perfect. I completely was easily into a deficit. I didn't have to track anything. Didn't have to like do no like not artistically put fucking 200 grams of potatoes on the scale. Cause like, I understand, man. I also personally don't like tracking my calories, but being non understanding the calories that you're eating is important, because calories are going to mean whether or not you lose or gain fat over a period of time. And that was what I did for 6 months straight. And guess what? Got the results. What exactly do we eat here though? So I'm going to show you a couple examples of what I did. But I want to talk about the foods that are like really good for fat loss, and the foods that I eat mostly. And this would be, starting off with our proteins, is we basically just had steak, beef, ground beef, chicken breast mostly, because chicken thighs and chicken thighs are really high in fat, so they do have higher calories. And I personally like think it's easier to make chicken breast. And eggs, lots of eggs. I ate basically 6 eggs every single day for breakfast. Never got bored of them. I love my eggs. And protein shake. So I believe these are the best sources of protein. You should be having these with every single meal. Have eggs with your meal. Have beef and chicken with your meal. You can have obviously other types of meat, but this is just showing you my preference, what I did. For your carbohydrate source, very simple. I had potatoes, I had rice, fruits and vegetables, and toast. These were my basically only carb sources. Had lots of bananas, honey too. You could add that to the list. But the carbohydrates here, the potatoes and rice, are extremely important. And I would recommend only eat these next to your workout window. So for me, it would be, I would have like a really carb heavy meal at 12 p.m. And then my 7 p.m. meal wouldn't be so heavy on carbs. I would still have a little bit of carbs, but not as much as my 12 p.m. meal. And then for fats, this is really easy. I mean, nobody should be under eating fats. They are important, but if you eat too much, they're really high in calories. So butter and olive oil, maybe coconut oil. It's about all I really had. It's not very complicated, your fats. So basically just what you cook with. Like when you cook ground beef in the pan, or when you cook eggs, you put butter and then you put your eggs on it. Or ground beef, I like to put some butter in my ground beef. Or if I'm cooking chicken, I put olive oil before I cook the chicken. Pretty simple concept to understand. So I'm going to show you some food examples I had. This would be like something that I'll have for breakfast. On the left, this is very, we have the avocado for carbs, 6 eggs. This is also 100 grams of egg whites and some, I forgot what this is, like Canadian bacon or something. Here we have boiled eggs, avocados, mangoes. So this is really good carb source. This was after a workout, so this was really good. I'd have lots of protein shakes, so eggs, a little bit of sugar, low sugar ketchup, mango protein shake right here. This was before I blended the protein shake. This was like a mixed berry protein shake, very good. It's basically just water, frozen fruit, protein powder, a little bit of Greek yogurt, blend that shit up. Tastes really good. You don't need to go to these like protein stores, although they are pretty damn good. And also I showed this picture because this is extremely high in carbs, but I just wanted to show you that I was not scared of carbs. These are protein pancakes and I put strawberries in it, and there's also syrup on it, so very carb heavy meal, but I made sure that my next meal later in the day did not have barely any carbs. It was like only meat. But I wanted to show you that it's possible to still eat enjoyable foods. Like, bro, I haven't ate pancakes in a minute. This is reminding me. These are fucking delicious, man. The Kodiak cakes, fucking recommend. Lunch, some quesadillas with some ground beef in them. Very high protein. I can even make pizzas. Like, you can make these types of foods. This is made with a cauliflower crust, ground beef, cheese, tomatoes, onions inside them. Like, this is really high in protein with the cheese and beef, and really low in calories because it's a cauliflower crust. And obviously we need the Diet Pepsi because of 0 calories. And then more simple stuff, patties with cheese on them. We have these were chicken fajitas with bell peppers. I eat these with probably the tortilla or something. And then I also wanted to show you this, is that every once in a while, go have a cheat day, man. Like, look at this. This is some rigatoni bolognese right here. Super damn good. Had it with the family. Went on ice cream dates. I literally went on ice cream dates. But smart thing, very smart of me. Went on ice cream dates with this girl, my girlfriend right now, and we would actually get ice cream, but we would also walk. So we'd be walking, eating ice cream, and it was like a very nice, cute date. She loved it, but I really like to walk because that would mean I'm like burning the calories as I'm eating the ice cream. So instead of having like a 300 calorie ice cream, it was only like 200 calories because of the walk. So little thing there. Once you start losing this weight, once you start building this muscle, it's gonna be hard for girls to not notice it. And girls are gonna want to talk to you. Girls are gonna approach you. And then you're gonna end up getting a girlfriend. And then you're gonna want to eat ice cream. So this is a little tip: is, man, go on a walk if you're gonna eat ice cream with her. This is where you need to start as soon as possible, because I'm telling you that you're never gonna regret starting this journey, and you're only gonna regret not starting it sooner. So I hope this video helps. Get to it, bro.